She's also the only person besides Jason and I who have been to all 7 revitalizes.
Yes. It's like such the memories. It's all, I honestly, I was like one of, I don't know what all of you do, but if you're just kind of dabbling in the wellness space or health or fitness space, and sometimes it's just an event like this that changes everything. And that was true for me. And I think that's something that you should take away from here. Like, what is it that kind of made me feel free or lit something up in me, and follow that?
So you've been a contributor in Mind Body Green for over a decade. You're on our board. What is the biggest shift that you've seen in health and well-being over the past 5 years?
Okay, so I think when the pandemic happened, I think it's like exposed a lot. And it's like, when if any of you guys have kids, you're in a relationship, and then having a baby like exposes all the weaknesses of your relationship. Like little fights become huge fights, and things that mildly annoyed you now make you want to strangle the other person. Like that, the pandemic basically exposed our world, modern world, like all the weaknesses that we have, that we are easy to kill, basically, and we are weak, and we don't spend enough time outdoors, and we don't have a good gut microbiome. And so I think everything that happened since then is a reflection of like our self-realization. Like, wow, we need community, we need people, we need a gut microbiome, we need to take care of our nutrition. Like, that's where the focus has become.
Getting back to base camp, as Juliet said. So there is an interesting study in natural aging by researchers from Stanford showing that aging accelerated around 2 points, so 44 and 60, and I think it was agnostic, male or female. What are the insights, and what can we do to slow that trend?
Okay, so here's the thing. Your decision, if you guys are in your 40s or near your 40s or past your 40s, if you're in that either that 44 or that 68 or in between that, that is your critical window. That is when you're going to decide if what's going to happen to you when you're 80, 90, 100. So this is the time where the cellular aging actually accelerates a little bit, and you can slow that by the things that you're doing. So nutrition is number one, lifestyle, sleep, stress, community. These are things that if you miss this window between 44 and 68, you kind of have irreversible changes. And so it should be more motivation to really take control, because at a cellular level, things are changing.
So in the morning sessions, we talked a lot about movement. We talked a lot about muscle. We talked a lot about mobility. We want to switch gears and talk a little bit more about nutrition. And you have a 30-30-3 principle that you talk a lot about. Can you share what that basic is?
Okay. I always say every big transformation starts from nutrition. So everything, like if you're like, what should I start? Should I start like lifting heavy weights? Should I go to the sauna? But start with your food. You eat it at least 3 times a day, if not 5 or 7. Start with your food. And so the 30-33 is with any diet, any person, any age. And it's especially for women in perimenopause, that 35 plus group. 30 grams of protein first meal. Doesn't have to be within 30 minutes or whatever a lot of people say. It's just whenever you have your first meal, you want to have 30 grams of protein. 30 grams of fiber throughout the day. That means you're having at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe there's berries, there's avocados, there's leafy greens, there's nuts and seeds. Fiber is a lot of things. And then the last one, which may be the hardest for everyone here, because you're probably pretty advanced on the protein and the fiber, is 3 servings of probiotic foods. That is your yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, even like an apple cider vinegar with olive oil for your salad dressing. Like that counts as one of the 3. So if you can follow that framework within days, I mean, our microbiome can change within 3 days. You will see a difference in the way you think, in the way you move, and in the way you feel.
Nice. So while you have these fancy degrees from great schools, I think one of your other amazing talents is your social media content creation skills, where you distill things down in a way that's super relatable and it just gets everyone engaged. You have some interesting hacks. One of them's kiwi. Let's talk about that. Why should we all be eating kiwi, maybe even with the skins on, especially if we're women 35 plus?
Who eats kiwi with the skin on? Okay.
Wow.
Everybody at the end of this will
More than I thought.
Okay, it triples the fiber, not just doubles. It triples the fiber in that food. So when we're talking about eating high fiber foods, you can get it from the kiwi. So you're eating it wrong if you're eating it without the skin.
How many grams of fiber in a kiwi?
It's like 7.
Okay.
Like it's a pretty, I mean, it's like avocado once you put the fiber skin on. And then kiwi is known to boost mood. Kiwi is clinically shown to help with sleep.
I like that.
Kiwi has antioxidants. And so all of us trying to look young and anti-age ourselves. So this is something that could be an easy hack to your day that could boost your mood and that could help you sleep and get your fiber goals.
Juliet was talking about dressing up your walk, but you've talked about Japanese walking. What is that?
Okay, I love this. Okay, have you ever gone on a walk and then you had to like run across the street? If you live in Miami, New York, you know what I mean? This is what Japanese interval walking is. 3 minutes regular pace, 3 minutes you're like running across the street pace, and you alternate. And the interval walking is so much more effective at increasing your VO2 max, which we talked about, like how that's like a determinant of fitness. You can do that just by walking and interval every 3 minutes, like speeding it up, like as if you're in a rush to get it to give it even better effects for cognitive health, for heart health, and VO2 max.
So we all learned we are, sitting is the new smoking, and next year we'll be on the ground on our yoga mats. But you have a theory around body weight sways every hour. Talk to me about this.
Okay, squats, body weight squats. Today, like a day like today, who wants to get up and just do a couple? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so if you get up and you do 10 body weight squats, we'll count down. This is more effective than a 30-minute leisurely walk at the end of your day. So if you were gonna go home today and you're like, you know what, I don't really even have time for a 30-minute walk, you're like, wait, I already did my body weight squats. But you have to do it every hour. So you can't just finish. Now, I started it, now every hour for the next 7 hours, I'm gonna do 10 squats. Okay, ready? Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Imagine like on travel days, I travel all the time. This is like something on days where you can't get out to a regular gym workout, doing a little exercise snack like this every 45 minutes, an hour is better.
So do you get off when we're just talking about how much you travel. When you're on the airplane, are you just going into the middle aisle and doing your squats?
Well, honestly, I feel like if you're embarrassed, which, a lot of us would be, bathrooms are fine. You can do it on your home. Like everybody, I don't think anybody kind of winces at an office, someone getting up and doing a couple of squats. Like it's just like a stretch.
Love it. So let's switch gears a bit and talk about the connection between brain and mood and how we can sleep and eat and how what we eat can help us sleep better. Because I think we have a lot of people, myself included, who struggle with sleep. So like if you were to give us a prescription for what to eat for better sleep.
Okay, so sleep is something that I also struggle with a lot. And I think the number is like approaching 70% of women in that perimenopausal, menopausal have some issues with sleep. So it's
70%?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like there's a big number that either wake up in the middle of the night or have falling asleep issues or, hot flashes, disturbances. So it's a big issue. So one of the things we already talked about, kiwi, is actually a great thing to have 2 kiwi fruit before bed actually has been clinically shown to improve sleep. All the things that produce melatonin naturally and tryptophan naturally, not just...
Does that mean I have to eat turkey before bed?
Not you don't have to have turkey before bed. But but there was a big TikTok trend recently of like tart cherry juice. And that actually is something that you can use before bed to help you sleep. And of course, there's natural, I think the biggest thing I can say, which is a non-food hack, is getting enough sunlight during the day. I think that is one of the biggest natural hacks that you can do, is get enough sunlight, especially in the beginning of the day, to set your circadian rhythm so that you can be tired at the end of the day. And stop the alcohol at night. I feel like, I don't know if sometimes you have to hear it 100 times, but this is your 100th time. Like, that alcohol is messing with your sleep. And when you have, just a drink at dinner, it's still impairing your sleep. And so staying away from alcohol, having your caffeine at least 10 hours prior to sleep if you're someone who struggles with sleep. That's me. I can't have caffeine afternoon because I know that it'll interfere with my sleep cycle. And so having a diet also that stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed so that you're not digesting when you're going to bed.
So then you're essentially going into some sort of circadian fast if you're cutting off your food.
Exactly. 2 to 3 hours before bed improves sleep quality.
Really? Tell me more about the benefits of that.
Yeah. So circadian rhythm, our bodies, 80% of our body's processes work on circadian rhythms. And so that's why I don't know if you saw the recent data that said, like, the time you wake up and the time you go to sleep, keeping that constant is one of the best ways to improve health and your sleep quality, because our bodies are running on clocks all the time. And so when you stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed, you are telling the body, okay, you can go into repair and sleep mode. Your melatonin is not just going to your brain, it's going to your gut and it's going to your liver and it's turning down those processes. And so when you are not eating, your body's able to heal and get yourself into that sleep mode. So one of the best things. And then, of course, like the cold, the dark, not even having a nightlight, that is one of the biggest hacks that I can say, is like, turn off the ambient light in your room. That's another sleep hack.
So let's rate some of these current hot button topics that we've been talking a lot about. One would be Dr. Shah would never touch it. 10 is Dr. Shah wants you to do it or consume it or have it in your life every single day. So we'll just start with the most controversial of all of them. Maybe not to this group. We'll see. Seed oils.
Seed oils. I think I would rate it like a 2 or 3, because I don't think you can not touch it if you live in this world. Like, aren't you, like, if you're eating out, you're probably touching it.
But you're just avoiding it, or
you're minimizing it.
Got it. We talked food going into walnuts. What about those?
Oh, 50 grams of walnuts. Okay. They actually put cognitive caps on people, and saw that 50 grams of walnuts improves cognitive function. And so adding that to your breakfast can be a really nice way to improve brain function for the day. Remember that old saying? Like, I used to laugh. They'd be like, walnuts are shaped like your brain because they support your brain. And I was like, this is so stupid. Like, when I was in med school, I was like, and like, it's actually true.
Okay, I'm adding some walnuts to my breakfast. Okay, something that used to be controversial. I don't know if it's controversial with this group. Eggs.
10. Like, eggs, yes. I mean, of course, if you have religious or allergies, religious preferences against it, or allergies, don't have it. That's a 1 for you then. But if you're someone who's trying to figure out how to improve your protein, and it's not unhealthy for you.
So last parting nutrition advice for anyone who's trying to take control of their health.
I honestly, what I said in the beginning, it starts with nutrition. Like, this is your transformation, whatever you want to do in your life. If you're not even sure, just like start with nutrition. It will change you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Amy.